Are you okay being a Christian man of the president of the United States selling Bibles? Is that ethically sound to you?
As opposed to like a regular book company doing. Oh, sorry, regular book company doing it.
A regular book company is not the president of the United States. I'm asking you again, are
Yeah,
you okay
I
as
don't
a
care.
Christian
Yeah,
man?
I don't care.
Okay, so ethically speaking, your system tells you you're okay with somebody as the president of the United
Printing
States
more
with
Bibles. Yeah, I don't have a
making
problem with that.
money making money off of selling the Bible. Are you okay? Fair enough. I can't believe you said that, but okay.
Why? Wait,
Are
hang on,
you
hang on. Why would it be unethical for a person to make more Bibles?
So he's not making more Bibles. China is making the Bibles. Number two, he's teamed up with
And
this.
okay, so there's
It's
more
a
Bibles being
business.
made because of Donald
Hold on,
Trump.
hold on. It's a business proposition with Lee Greenwood
Mm,
making millions of dollars off of making Bibles that
mm.
are made in China for pennies on the dollar and then selling them for $60 a pop. Most people in society, no
Mhm.
matter what religion you are, would say
Oh.
probably not very ethical.
Should Christians lobby then, Brian, that only Christians should be allowed to produce the Bible and then the
Yep.
government enforce that?
Sure, sure. Let me respond to that. So, first of all, never did I say that any regular
I
American
said
can't
should.
sell
I'm asking a should question.
I
Should
think a
they?
politician, I think that there should be rules in place where a politician can't make money off of their religion because they're in power. That's exactly what Donald Trump did after he won the election. I would also say that Donald Trump stood outside of a church. By the
Mm,
way, people who ran the church, who
yeah.
owned the church, did
Mhm.
not want him there. They didn't give him permission to be there. He holds up a Bible upside down. Donald Trump every day. This should be important to you, right? Because this is part of your system. He claims the Bible is his favorite book. To this day, he has never been able to recite one verse in the Bible. Is that ethics? Is that to say that this is your
Well,
favorite?
yeah,
Is
so
that sound?
hang on. So there's people I know who've been Christians their whole lives who have a terrible time recalling specific passages from the Bible, but can tell you the story in great detail. So like let me give hang on, I'll give you an example of this. I'll give you an example, Brian. Do you like have you ever read The Lord of the Rings?
No, I haven't.
Okay, what's your favorite book?
The way you make excuses for Trump is
I'm not
so
making an
ridiculous.
excuse. I'm making a logical argument.
I know some
Brian,
people
chill
that
out,
don't
Brian.
remember.
Brian, chill out. Brian, what's your favorite book?
I don't know. Did you write a book, Andrew? I'll say it's one of your books. I don't know.
You don't have a favorite book?
Um, Probably John McEnroe's book was probably one of my favorites.
What's your favorite quote from that book?
When he talked about his
No, no, no. I want
behavior,
the exact quote.
sure, sure. When I screwed up, I lashed out at people and I was wrong.
Okay,
That's
and
one
then
quote in his book.
what chapter and verse was that?
Don't it wasn't there's no verses
Well,
in his
just
book.
paragraph wise. Just
Uh,
what chapter and then what
yeah,
paragraph
yeah,
was that in?
sure. I don't know what paragraph it is,
Mhm.
but I will say I'm not selling John McEnroe books,
Right.
and I'm not there saying it's
So
my favorite.
right. The
I
reason
just
hang
gave
on,
you a quote.
the reason for
Gave
this,
you a
Brian,
quote.
is because
Can I
you're
give you
not
a quote?
extending hang on, you're not extending any grace here. If I
Mhm.
use the same standard that you're using, right, and then apply it to you, what's your favorite book? And then what's your
Sure.
favorite quote? And then where can I find it?
Which is
You also can't recall.
right. So let me respond to that. First of all, I'm not the president of the United States. Hold on, hold on. I know you want to interject. You just said that I know people that can't remember. Okay. First of all, we're Andrew, there are different standards. We are not talking about people, and we are not talking about Brian Shapiro, the radio host. By the way, I don't sell books, I never have. But if I did decide to sell a book and I claimed that it was my favorite book and I was making millions of dollars selling that book, I probably would be able to know everything about that book. Multiple times, Donald Trump, holding the Bible upside down in front of a church, by the way, can't recite one verse in the Bible. I'm not making money off a book, and I'm a radio host, dude. He's the president of the United States, and this is where it comes from ethics that you like to bring up. When you become the president and you have a huge platform and you use that platform to make money, in this case, off of selling a Bible, is not ethically sound to anybody that is honest. You are not being honest right now on your show or whatever show we are on. And this is why I say when you put that cross around your neck and you talk about Christianity and you claim you have absolutely no problem with your liable sexual abusing friend who sells the Bible and is profiting off of religion. It's pathetic and it's insane. And you guys curl yourself and you
Do you see how none
Christianity
of
with
this but do you see how none of this is an argument? It's all just
absolutely
it's
an argument. It shows
hang
that you
on.
don't
Can
have evidence.
Brian, calm down, just let you go.
It's an argument.
Right?
It's an argument. To let you know, it's
It's
an
not an
argument. I'll let you
argument.
know.
It's a
Listen,
you're
I'll
reverting
let you know you're
Brian,
embarrassing yourself.
calm
I'll
down.
let you know.
Calm down.
Andrew, calm down.
Stop spurging,
Listen,
Brian.
Andrew,
It's my
calm down.
turn, Brian. Stop spurging.
Calm down.
Okay,
Calm down, Andrew. Calm down.
listen, the thing is, man, is that no, the case is that you just gave me another triviality. For instance, Brian, if you hold the Bible upside down when you pick it up, why is that actually a problem from Christian
Okay,
ethics?
sure.
So
Let's take that
hang on. Brian, stop. I want
Sure.
you to actually answer the question I asked you
Sure,
like I
sure.
just answered yours.
Absolutely.
Why is
Sure.
that actually a problem from Christian ethics?
Sure. I will tell you why I think most Christians would say it's a problem.
No, no,
Number
no,
one,
just this. I want you to repeat the question so
I'm
I know
I'm
you know the
answering
question.
I'm answering it.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's not just holding the Bible upside
So
down, which
that's
I
not a
think is
problem from Christian
let's
ethics.
just say it was an honest mistake.
Mhm.
Let's just assume for argument's sake, Andrew, that he made an honest mistake and the Bible was being held upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give you that argument.
Okay.
He was standing in front of a church
Yeah.
where the owners of that church did not want him there, and he
So?
used it as a photo
So
opportunity.
what?
That's not ethically sound. It
Why?
is disgraceful
What's unethical about that?
because you're using the church as a background, and the owners of that church did not want him there and didn't want to use their church to be used for political
Are you
gain.
saying that Trump was trespassing or something?
Never said he was breaking the law. Follow
Okay.
with me, Andrew. Pay
So
attention.
then hang on. So then your criticism of him is he wasn't breaking any laws, but he used a backdrop.
My criticism
That's your
is
criticism. He used a
all,
backdrop.
just like the Bibles or holding a Bible upside down or not being able to cite a verse in the
Mhm.
Bible. I go back to what I originally
These are all
was saying.
arguments from incredulity.
Yes.
They're fallacious arguments.
In your position, in your argument, it's fallacious. Most people, by the way, if we're going to use the term fallacious, I think there's a lot of people that wear the Donald Trump knee pads 24/7 that can't call out anything that he does or says, and you go back to the
Yeah, but what
abortion
you
issue.
just made, I'm letting you know what you just did was you made multiple arguments from incredulity. You didn't actually make any and by the way, that's a lot. These are logical fallacies. You're just saying, I'm incredulous, don't believe he's a real Christian because this one time he held up the Bible and it was upside down and he used a backdrop. Hang on, and he used a backdrop for a photo. That's a very trivial attack. That's
You
one.
think
And then two,
you think
hang on, man. And then two, the other big problem that you have here is that that's not positive proof or evidence that Donald Trump himself isn't a Christian. It's just you
Mhm.
being incredulous. That's it.
Sure, that's your opinion, and I disagree. By the way, I'm not making the case that he's a bad Christian just because he held the Bible upside down and he sells Bibles. That's one of many, many examples that I can talk about. The way he talks about women, the way he talks about his own daughter, the way he treats people, going after our brave men and women in uniform, suckers and losers. The comments he made about John McCain, dodging the military multiple times. The man barely ever goes to church if at all. Having
You see
raw
how you
dog
shotgun these? You won't go one point at a time. You just like shotgun everything.
because here's why. You're the reason why I'm doing this, Andrew.
Yeah, because you're
You
gish
just
galloping,
hold on,
which is also a
hold on,
fallacious
hold
move.
on, hold on. The reason why you keep using this term fallacious. I
Mhm.
think the only person that might be performing verbal fellatio on Donald Trump is you, but we can go to that later.
Oh, you
The
got
reason
him.
why,
Got him.
the reason,
You
the
got him,
reason
Brian.
why, the reason why, okay,
Got
I'm
him.
doing this is because you named one thing. You're saying he's not a fake. You're saying he's a
Well, I'm
fake
just
Christian.
going one point at a
Hang
time.
on, wait. You're saying he's a fake Christian because he held a Bible upside down for a photo op. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm collectively putting all these
Go
things
one point
in
at a
three.
time. Let's do one
Okay,
point at a time.
I can happily do that.
Then let's do it.
You were making the case and you were making it sound like I'm only saying he's a fake Christian
No,
because
well, what I'm saying is that each point that you make, right, it seems that most of the attacks are very trivial and made from the position of incredulity. You're not,
sexual
in
abuse
other
trivial?
words, you're not actually
Is
giving
sexual
us a standard
is
for,
sexual abuse
hang on,
trivial?
Brian, just chill out. You're not giving us a standard at all for why it is, one, that these things are bad from the Christian worldview, and for two, you're not giving us anything other than you're just incredulous that a real Christian does X. It's a no true Scotsman fallacy on top of it. So
Now I know that
help me
over
out. So help me out. Let's go to the next
Sure, I'll
one.
help
You were
you out.
saying
Uh,
sexual
let's
thing.
talk
Yeah.
about that.
Okay.
So over 1,000 children have been by the clergy, and I know it was a huge cover up.
Hmm.
So I don't want to talk about
No, let's talk
molestation.
about it.
But let's talk about
No, no,
Donald
no.
Trump.
Hang on, hang on. First of
Uh,
all, hang on. You just made a claim. First of all, Brian, That's Roman Catholicism. I'm an Orthodox Christian, Eastern Orthodox Christian, not a
It's just
Roman Catholic. And
got you. So
second,
it's
and
different
hang on,
form.
and secondly, Brian, if you want to bring up the scandals of the Catholic Church, then you need to bring up the scandals of public schools. And once you realize that in public schools, you're almost 100 times more likely, and I can give you the study on this, to get under the state institution than you are in a private Catholic school, you realize something very important.
Yeah.
Predators go where the children are. And it
Mhm.
doesn't matter if that's in a state institution or the Boy Scouts, a private club, or if it's in a
Mhm.
religious institution, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Predators are going to
Yeah.
go where they have access to
Sure.
kids. And
Understood.
you are trying to lay this
Yep.
fallaciously at the feet of one organization while sparing the other that you would
So
recommend those kids
this
engage with.
this is really important. So I know, Andrew, you do a lot of debates, but this is a perfect example of what I do. I teach this in my class, by the way, the definition of whataboutism. So I never made the case that kids aren't in schools. Kids are in every facet of life. It's terrible. I know we agree it should not happen. I wasn't making the case that it doesn't happen
Actually,
elsewhere.
you
Or
started with a
hold
whataboutism.
on, hold
Okay.
on.
Sure.
I wasn't making the case that it doesn't happen anywhere else. All I was simply saying is there was a big cover up, and sadly, many children were in the clergy. Now, with that
That
being
was the
said,
whataboutism, though.
with that being
That
said,
was the whataboutism. You
we were
said, "What about
talking
kids
about
in the Catholic Church? What does that have to do
right,
with the debate?"
right.
That was
I'll
the
tell you,
whataboutism, Brian.
I'll tell you what it has to do with the debate.
You use the
We were I'll
fallacious
tell you
argument.
I'll tell you what it has to do in the debate because you're alt-righteous Christian man, right? And
Oh,
Christianity and everything's perfect. But
nobody
you
said
see
that. That's a straw
okay,
man.
yep, okay. Well, Donald Trump bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms in a sexual manner on the Howard Stern show. He was running the pageant. These were teenage girls. 3 of them have come forward in interviews. Now they're adult women and said, "Yes, did happen. This is how it happened." In Donald Trump's own words, he went into that beauty pageant locker room without their permission.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's not true? Or let's just start there. Is that not true what I just said?
Well, I mean, I think that he did make this admission on Howard Stern's show. Yeah, I think it's pretty gross.
It's pretty okay, thank you. We
Mhm.
agree on that. Now, I'm not saying every human being is perfect. My vote for Joe Biden was an anti-Donald Trump vote. My vote for Kamala Harris was an anti-Donald Trump vote. Taking aside the issue, which I know is very important to you. I get that. We've been through that. What has Kamala Harris done in her life? Can you name me one thing she's done in her life that rises to that level
Yeah.
of bragging about
Yes.
going into a teenage go ahead. Go ahead.
She advocates for the solidarity of an amendment to protect for women,
I just said aside from
which would
abortion.
lead
Can you
to
name something else?
what would be more important than that, though?
Okay, Andrew, I understand your take on this. We've talked about this for an hour and
Yeah,
a
but
half.
do you
I'm
understand
asking
that
you
this is a trivial that what you're doing again
Andrew,
is okay, but here, I'll just make the direct comparison.
please.
Let's say, for instance, I wouldn't say that I have something as personalized as that, like an affair that she had or something like this, that I would put at the same level or say it's as gross as the locker room thing. But
Okay.
don't you understand that that is very trivial? And the expectation of asking me, but Andrew, you and Christians like you should still support this candidate, even though this candidate's going to do
I
X, which
didn't
is completely
say
against your view.
I didn't say you had to support Kamala Harris. All I said was you support Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
but that would be what I'm trying to
Every
get is the concession from you that from my worldview, that would be the most ethical thing to do.
well,